Have you ever wondered what credit score that you need to qualify for a home loan? In this video, I'm going to break down some of the most commonly used homebuyer programs and the credit scores that you're going to need to qualify for the mortgage. First, we're going to start with FHA financing. FHA is one of the most commonly used first-time homebuyer programs because of its low down payment option of only 3.5%. So if you are looking at FHA financing, most lenders will go to about a 580 credit score, and you can still put as little as 3.5% down to qualify. Now, certain lenders can actually go as low as a 520 credit score, but that's going to require at least a 10% down payment. Now, the one thing that you need to understand with all of these programs that we're going to cover today, when a lender pulls your credit, we're pulling all three credit bureaus. So we're going to look at TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Now, whichever credit score lands in the middle, that is the qualifying credit score that the lender is going to use. So for example, let's say you have TransUnion with a 650, you have Experian with a 700, and let's say you have Equifax with a 750. You would simply use the 700 credit score. You don't have to add them and try to average them out. You will simply take whichever one lands in the middle, and that's the score that the lender is going to use. Now, if you have multiple borrowers that are going on the mortgage, you will then take the lower middle score of however many people are on the loan. So typically when there's a husband and a wife, we will take the lower of the two mid scores to qualify them. So this is super important to know because I've seen a lot of clients over the years that, let's say they don't qualify for what they're looking for and they want to go get a cosigner. Now remember, if you have a 600 credit score and your cosigner has an 800, we still have to use your 600 credit score to qualify you for the loan. So that's why credit is so important when it comes to buying a house. You always want to try to get your score as high as possible, but don't let that be a hindrance in holding you back from buying a house, because there is still some of these programs, like I just mentioned with FHA, you can go down to a 580. You can still get into a house with a good interest rate that'll help you start building wealth that you can then get into other properties, build some equity, and all the good things that comes along with owning property. Next up, we have conventional financing. Conventional financing, the minimum credit score you're going to look at is about a 620. So typically when someone qualifies for a conventional loan, they typically have a lower debt to income ratio because FHA does allow lenders to push the envelope a little more when it comes to the DTI. Depending on how much money you make, depending on how much your down payment is, that's the lender's job to then figure out, is it a better route for us to look at conventional financing or do we look at FHA financing? And now we're going to move on to the jumbo world. The jumbo world is basically a jumbo loan is $1 above the conforming loan limit. The Federal Housing Finance Agency typically assesses the real estate market every single year. They may or may not adjust the conforming loan limit. Last year, they did increase it because housing prices have continued to go up. As of right now, as we shoot this video, the conforming loan limit is $647,200. So if you are thinking about purchasing a home that's above that, and that loan amount is going to be higher than the amount that I just mentioned, you might be looking at either some sort of high balance loan or jumbo financing. That all depends on what part of the country that you're in. Like California, for example, they have a high balance loan range. So you may fit into that, or you may simply go into a jumbo loan. Certain markets like Las Vegas does not have a high balance area. So as soon as you hit that $1 above the conforming loan limit, like I just mentioned, you are now looking at a jumbo loan. Jumbo financing, obviously you're borrowing a lot more money. Those lenders are typically looking for stronger credit scores. Now you can get in as low as a 660, but jumbo financing can be a little more complicated. So you definitely want to check to see what lending options your loan officer has, because each lender that they work with are going to have different requirements. Those loans don't get sold to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. So each investor is going to set their own guidelines and set their own rules. Just because one lender says no, that doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to get financing. And for all of my veterans and active duty service members out there, on a VA loan, you can go as low as a 520 and still get financing. Remember, these types of mortgages, you don't have to have perfect credit. even if you have a few blemishes. That's typically not going to hold you back from qualifying for a home loan. So even if you're unsure, this is definitely one of the reasons you should reach out to a loan officer and really find out, what does your situation look like? Because credit score doesn't tell us everything about the borrower. I've talked to numerous people over my career that they didn't think their credit score was good enough. They thought that their collections was going to hold them back, that we were actually able to help them and get them into a mortgage. So don't be too hard on yourself. Make sure you communicate with a lender, talk to them, and just see what they can do to help you. Next up, we have USDA financing. USDA financing is used when you're looking at purchasing a home in a rural area. So if you're looking at something that's way out in the suburbs and just totally on its own, you might be able to qualify for USDA financing, which is really cool because it's no money down, 100% financing, and all you need is a 620 credit score to utilize that amazing loan program. Oh, and by the way, if we haven't met before, my name is Seanu Uyehara. I'm with Loan Depot, and it seems like yesterday I was just like you, looking to buy my first home or my first rental property, or simply trying to get pre-approved to buy a house. And really, I created my channel to help you navigate these crazy waters of the mortgage world and the real estate world, so you know how to get your mortgage right. So make sure to click on that subscribe button so you can subscribe to my channel, because I drop content every single week to help you understand the market and navigate these waters. And make sure to hit the description below, just in case if you are ready to get pre-approved, I've got you covered all across the country, so you can hit the description and get started. Next up, we have renovation financing. There's two types of renovation loans that are out there. FHA has a program called FHA 203K, and Fannie Mae has a program through conventional financing called Homestyles. They both allow for the borrower to finance the cost of their renovations into their mortgage up front. Now with FHA financing, all you need is a 580 credit score, and with Homestyles, you only need a 620. So again, in this crazy market that we're in right now, this renovation loan is a great program because there's a ton of properties out there that have been neglected, that you as the future home buyer might love the floor plan, the layout, and everything about the home. But you know what? Maybe you need to redo the flooring, the cabinets, and put a new coat of paint, maybe even get some appliances or repair the roof. Simple things like that will cost you tens of thousands of dollars down the road. A lot of you will put that on a credit card. You try to get the 0%, but you end up not paying it off in time. And I've seen so many people come back later to try to refinance their mortgage. But why not try to do that up front, so that way when you move in, you've got the house that you want. Now make sure to check out this next video to learn more about how to purchase your first home, buy your first rental property, or simply how to get pre-approved. And if you are thinking about buying or refinancing right now, don't forget that I can help you. So hit that description below for links on how to get started with your loan application, and I'll see you on the next video.